So, today we're going to be talking about just YouTube in general. And for me, I'm like, when we're talking about the WNBA, it is now fine to lie about everything in the WNBA, especially if it's just to dunk on women playing basketball for no reason. Because you can have as much positive content on this game, on this sport if you want, but it doesn't really matter because women bad gets more views or trying to start a race war. One of those two things will get 100 times more views. Before we get on to it, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers. You guys are fans of basketball in general, whether it be draft, we do a bit of NBA, mostly WNBA right now. Things will obviously change, especially with the Olympics. And if you guys want to hear people talking about basketball, actually what's going on in the WNBA, rather than trying to incite some sort of online race war or just dunk on players for no reason, then yeah, this is a place for you. There are definitely other places. There are a lot of other channels that do this, and you can find them yourselves. But I just saw this channel right here because obviously we all know that, like, we all know the Outkicks of the world and the similar channels, like the channels that are somehow like the sports channels that when actual sport, like when they talk about sports, don't get views, but when they talk about how ESPN bad for random stuff they do, or attacking LeBron as a person, or attacking Clark, not even Clark as a person. There are certain channels that will attack Caitlin Clark's person, but attacking Taurasi as a person. Like, these channels are going to blow up. And then I saw this channel here, Too Lazy to Hoop. And this is the channel that I'm like really weird about. So if you look at the Too Lazy to Hoop channel, in almost all the channels, it's like, look at the videos. WNBA, dear WNBA, stop lying. WNBA is an attitude problem. And I do, like, there are some, like, legitimately okay points where it's like, they want to complain about, like, there are some negatives with WNBA, like I've talked about. But this entire person's channel, if you look at popular, is just dunking on the WNBA. And the most recent video was really annoying me. And it was an entire video about blaming the players and everything for basically being jealous. And it's also stating that the WNBA is losing 50 million this year and that, like, it's a charity league and the NBA should shut it down. People don't understand just in business. And everybody wants to talk about business. Let's talk business. How many massive companies in the world are willing to lose money in order to gain money in the future? The WNBA loses 10 million on year on average. 10 million per year on average over the 26 years. This year they've lost 50 million. Why? Because they want to bring in they brought in charter flights, which people have said it's 25 million per team per year. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's like 2 million per team per year. So they brought in charter flights. They've promoted this sport more so than ever. Sometimes companies want to make a loss, so I wouldn't be surprised if the NBA are charging them an extortionate amount to advertise on NBA platforms. Like, as far as, like, the fudging the books in some way. I wouldn't be that surprised. I'm not going to say that, but they could very easily be doing that. And then you've also got situations where they're pumping money into advertisements. They're pumping money into these teams this year because they're about to sign a new TV deal for 240 million. Why would you not do everything in your power to make sure, while you're negotiating for a new TV deal, you can lose? So basically, they're willing to lose an extra 40 million this year. They're willing to lose that extra 40 million to improve all the numbers so that instead of a 60 million TV deal per year, they can get 240 million. So a 1 year loss of 40 million has put them in a position, viewership-wise, as a league. Obviously, a lot of that because of this girl right here. But it's put them in a position as a league to gain an extra 180 million a year. 1 year of losing an extra 40 million to gain an extra 140 million or 180 million a year on the TV contract. But yet, still, there is just going to be a channel. Still, if I made a video dunking on the WNBA for losing 50 million and saying Caitlin Clark good, everybody else bad, let's go and clown on every single player. And yeah, I genuinely am like, the resentment that these players have for Caitlin Clark is not good for the league. And there are players definitely that have resentment for Caitlin Clark. Considering, like, Kennedy Carter screaming, "You B-word," and cheap-shotting her. Like, that was obviously, like, does not happen to a random player. Like, that does not happen if it's, like, everyone's like, oh, Caitlin Clark elbowed her. It's like, Caitlin Clark's not even looking, grabs the ball, and, like, might, like, skimmed her, not even looking, caught the ball, and, like, leaned back and got her. It's like, okay, cool. As a basketball player, happens 100 times out of 100. If that's any other player than Caitlin Clark, they don't get blindsided. It is what it is. There have been horrible things for the WNBA as far as viewership. That is 100% the truth. But basing an entire argument on Caitlin Clark good, everybody else bad, when the reality is that Caitlin Clark's playing the best basketball of her season right now. If you're watching this Indiana Fever team, they are going slowly towards an Iowa style of basketball. They are going and playing a fast-paced brand of basketball. And what Caitlin Clark is doing really, really well at the WNBA level is dictating the tempo. She's not scoring 40 a game right now because she's not getting the space. The defenders are bigger. The defenders are stronger. She is not going to average, in this rookie year, she's not going to be out here putting up 30 points a game like she did in college. But if you want to look at how some other players did, Kelsey Plum in her senior year averaged what, like 28 a game? She came in and averaged 4 a game. Caitlin Clark's had a better transition from college to the WNBA for any guard since Diana Taurasi. She's been unbelievable. So if there is like actual evidence there to show that maybe in 3 or 4 years down the line, you're looking at a 25-10 player, which is wild, which is absolutely crazy. She's been absolutely exceptional. But like, people aren't watching the games. People aren't watching the games, are just looking at the box score and saying, Caitlin Clark shot 12 shots. Let's make a video about how right now Christy Sides is like ruining her career and stuff. And like, there are definitely negatives. Christy Sides, I've made plenty of videos about how Christy Sides ruined her career. But that's when Christy Sides went, go stand in the corner. There's a very much difference if you watch the Liberty game versus if you watch the Dream game. If you watch the Dream game, she shot the ball 12 times, almost all within the flow of the offense. She shot 6 of 12, some of them logo threes. She hit a couple of logo threes, even after the buzzer hit a few of them, so the fans are excited. She has the ball in her hands. She's able to actually run the show. The team's looking good. Versus the 10 shots she took against the Liberty, where she wasn't touching the ball. She was told to go stand in the corner. They were running through everyone but her. They just looked her off 10 possessions in a row, and every time she took it, she chucked a frustration shot. If you look at the box score, you're seeing the same amount of shots, but these are two completely different games. And it has been, like, I've made videos, as again, I have to be as loud in my praise as my criticism. The style of play is running now completely through Caitlin Clark, and it's really good. But yet you've still got these WNBA channel, or not even WNBA channels that the only views they're getting is by dunking on these players. Trying to dunk on these players, this league. Trying to just make stuff up. Just completely making stuff up with the like attitude of women equals bad. And of course, that's going to get an absolute SH1T ton of views. Because in reality, that's always what it was. Like, if you made WNBA content, if you made a video making fun of the league, and that's why I never understood people talking about the losses. Like, people like the WNBA would be out of business. These teams are worth 80 to 100 million, or 80 to 200 million dollars each. These owners are multi-millionaires, billionaires. These teams are losing, let's just say, like, Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia is literally willing to go into basically the repeater tax for Phoenix just to make Phoenix win. And that's just out of boredom. Like, these owners literally use these teams as playthings. And you're getting someone worth $100 million and you're asking them, these teams lose on $800K a year. These multimillionaires as owners would be able to afford team salaries as is. Like, as is, they'd be able to afford the team salaries. They'd be able to afford everything. Like, if the NBA stopped funding the WNBA, the owners would just fund it, because at the end of the day, these owners are just there because these teams are their playthings. These are multimillionaires, and they're losing significantly less money on a WNBA team, even at its worst for losing money. They're losing less money than they would going into any other sport, and it's just something they're able to do. If the NBA stopped funding the WNBA would still exist. That is just a matter of fact. There are people that just want to put money at it because they have the money to burn. They're like, I want to have an involvement with this sports league. Heck, we saw it with 777, what they tried to do with the London Lions. Heck, that went absolutely pear-shaped. We've seen it with this new 3-on-3 women's league that Breanna Stewart has helped setting up, that they've already got they've already got bigger than WNBA contracts just playing some 3v3 league in the offseason. Because there are multimillionaires willing to put money in crazy places. This league, as a whole, has lost less money than a Tobias Harris contract. They've literally lost less money than a Tobias Harris contract. Let's stop acting like these billionaire owners. It makes any difference to a billionaire owner if they lose 800k, especially when at the end of the day, this team is just a plaything for them. So, if we want to talk business, I've seen really rich people blow their money on a lot worse things than a WNBA team. At least you're there sitting courtside. You get to use it in a dick measuring contest that I own a sports team. Realistically, that's happening. That's the reality of it. And not only that, once they sign that new TV deal, the league is going to be profitable. Major thanks to her, but also to Aja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and like the players that came before them. And obviously, like, look, say what you want, but Angel Reese has brought in viewers too.